I know that could be top news, but it shouldn't be the only news. It shouldn't be just the top news. What's going on? But then we go into your alternative news network sites, you know, like RT News, Press TV, you know, Al Jazeera, all these other alternative. You go on. There's plenty of dudes on YouTube that actually broadcast or present real news. Not CNN, not CNBC, not Fox. You know what I'm saying? Those BS sites that all they're gonna show you is what's going on with the situation with Kobe, which is only so much information as it comes. If you want to broadcast it or you want to televise it, fine. But if they're pushing that out there as that's the end all be all, you know something else is going on behind the scenes. There's tons of stuff that's going on, you know, behind the scenes that people are not seeing or not paying attention to. You know, you flip open your phone and you just look. You power open your phone, man, and first thing you see is gonna be something dealing with Kobe. You know. Meanwhile, you had a 7.7 earthquake drop in the Caribbean over there in Jamaica. You know, Benjamites is going through it over there. You know, situations like that. They're not televising that. But if you go on to the, like, as soon as you pull up, wherever you want to pull up, man, that's all they're gonna. You know, I pull up YouTube. They got the ceremonial speech, emotional speech by LeBron, right before at the Staples Center, right before the Laker game. You scroll down. You got sports, they're reporting the situation at the Super Bowl, and then a lot of that Super Bowl talk is about the Kobe Bryant situation. You know, and you just scroll. As you scroll, Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal will do whatever Kobe Bryant kids need. It's another thing to tap into people's emotions, right? Next thing up, LeBron James emotional during national anthem performed by Boys to Men, remembering Kobe. Just constantly just scroll, and that's what you see, man. You see all these different, and then they got the stuff about the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl in a couple days from now. You know, that's all it is. It's nothing worth reporting that's gonna really, you know, show people. You got people everybody comes out the woodworks, you know, speaking on the times where they met Kobe or whatnot. Here's Usher, tribute to Kobe Bryant. You know, that's enough for that, man. Just, you know, those of you who've been, you know, paying attention to what's going on, you see how they just putting that out there. And it just shows how much this man was idolized. Esau used that to cover up what he's doing behind the scenes and don't let you know. But at the same time, this man has been totally idolized. You know, as an idol on the earth. And you're not supposed to worship idols. Anytime somebody finds out about somebody who passed away that you didn't even know, you never met, you don't know them, and the only relationship that you can have is the time you put into watching them on TV or seeing stuff about them online, you're idolizing that person. How is that person, you don't come to love that person so much through idol worship that it touches your emotions that you start crying and you heard about the man passed away. So I want to touch on that, some scriptures on that for a second. So I'm going to this Wisdom of Solomon. I'm going to start at verse 14, verse 8. It says, "But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well as it, if he that made it. He, because it was made, and it, because being corruptible, it was called God." Now, this is talking about, you know, when you get technical, it's talking about something that somebody, like a idol, something that a person idol. It could be somebody's necklace, rosary beads, the cross, you know. Somebody might have halos or just something that somebody makes with their hands and it becomes worship. You know, people gotta have it. Some people are superstitious about stuff. They can't leave out the house with, their special made necklace or, earrings or whatever it is that a person might put an object. But that doesn't just stop there. Anything that's made to be idol, whether it's an object, whether it's a person, whether it's a song, whether it's a book, whatever it is that becomes an idol, it was made an idol through people. They didn't have to physically make it. People become idols. People worship these people. Michael Jackson he was idol so much over in China, which Kobe is idol so much in China. There's not a bigger star. Matter of fact, it was reported that Kobe Bryant was a bigger star in China than Yao Ming was, and he's from China. He's the best player to ever come out of China. His reputation superseded Yao Ming's. Even though Kobe was, he was in the league and stuff and famous before Yao Ming, Kobe go over there and he was a complete rock star. So did Michael Jackson. People would them Moabites, you would faint. They would faint when Michael's limo pull up. That man ain't about to say or do nothing to you. Somebody gonna put their hand over his head and walk this man into a freaking 4 or 5 star hotel resort. He gonna go up in his room, get on his balcony, and go out and wave to and the people would just drop down, faint, because they idolized him. And a lot of it has to do with our people, but a lot of it other nations, man. They idolize what Jake is able to do, and Jake idol worship people and things too. So it don't always have to be a specific object. It could be a person, because that person was made to be worshipped as a god. It says, "For what which is made shall be punished, together with him that made it." So what was made is Kobe Bryant's status of idolization. He was idolized, and he was made that status by fans. His fans, they call it fanatics. They made him to be that worshipped as an idol like that. So he was destroyed already. Most High sent the death angel to go collect the souls. That's what it is. That was just judgment, but at the same time, he was given mercy, because he's not gonna see the tribulation and trials, and he's not gonna be here during the time of Jacob's trouble. He's not gonna be here when the day of the Lord's wrath kick off. He's not gonna see all these people getting put to death. He was Most High gave mercy for him to not having to witness that. But those people that has put Kobe into that position to be worshipped like that, you're gonna die, because you're putting it. And people look. It's like you can tell a person, man. The Lord had to carry his cross. He so bad that he was beaten and he was whipped, and you could tell a person all the different things that led up to Yahushua have to be nailed up on the cross. Then he was actually nailed up on the cross and left hanging on the cross like that, and he died of the worst type of death and the worst type of experience that a person that only he could have endured. He went through that, and nobody shed a tear. When I first heard about that, man, I teared up, and I wasn't in the truth. I just heard the illustrations of that by these so-called Christians that I was with around that time. Because the Most High, in my particular situation, I basically came out of this ministry group that I was studying the Bible with, and the Most High, bam, man, he hit me with the truth, and I love it. I appreciate so much of it, man, because I was brought out of that darkness into the light. I was walking in darkness with them, and the Most High gave me showed me the path, and then I entered in that straight gate. But they read to me the different things that was reported. That just was reported that Yahushua went through, and I had to sit back, and man, I'm sitting here with a room full of dudes, and I'm tearing up, and I didn't even hold it. And at that point in my mind, I'm thinking it's Jesus. I'm like, oh man, I'm thinking that, the image you put with Jesus, that's the mindset. When I came into knowing the knowledge of the truth, that he was, it made sense. It made sense. There wouldn't have been an Edomite or a so-called white man to endure what Yahushua. Like us as a people, the scriptures say that Jacob is stronger than Esau. So Esau wouldn't have been able to even endure any of that. You know, Esau, Edomites would lose their job and man go home and put a bullet in everybody in the family's head. Then let's say that last bullet for his own temple. That's what the so-called white man, he ain't built for strong to endure. It made sense when I found out Yahushua was a so-called black man, you know, from the tribe of Judah, and he went through that. People won't cry for that. They will not cry. You could say, you know, the Lord went through this torturing, this treacherous events that he took place by the hands of his people underneath the Romans. These things happened. It was our people that put him through that, and they were doing all these things to him. People ain't gonna cry for that. But yet they will boo-hoo and cry, man, bawling for this man dying in the helicopter with his daughter. You know, like they have put this man in a level where he is idolized and worshipped. Verse 11. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of the Most High they are become an abomination and stumbling block to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and inventions of them the corruption of life. So you got the situation with Kobe Bryant, and not just Kobe Bryant, he's just the latest one. You got Prince, you got Bernie Mac, you got Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. It's a slew of Israelites that the Most High that were famous, that were being idol, that the Most High took down before their time, well before their time. You know, you know, and it becomes what? It becomes a shame unto those people who shed those tears and mourn because their idol was taken down. And then these people are not going to be the last. You know what I'm saying? This is the beginning of it. The Most High is going, and then even Nipsey Hussle, just last year. It hadn't even been a year since he passed on. Everybody that people are seriously of the nation of Israel and over the world and the other nations, when you worship an idol, these people, they're going to be taken out one by one. It's going to continue on, because that's the cycle. That's the cycle that the Most High got going on. And truly, these are opportunities for whomever the Most High has for coming to the knowledge of the truth. Man, look at all these people. You're going to have another ritual on Sunday, which is a Super Bowl, right? They're going to play the game of football. At halftime, they're going to have performers, celebrities who are idols. People idol these people. They're going to have, I don't know who they're going to have perform, but they always have somebody's Beyonce, Shakira, Jay-Z, all these people that are across the world. They don't really be having, you know, just a one this guy who's big here in the U.S. They always get somebody who's a global conglomerate that all across the world, because they know this is going to be worldly televised, to watch, to tune in. And that's just a ritual they have on stage. And they have all kind of Illuminati symbolism in the background, Illuminati colors, Illuminati hand gestures. All that's going to be going on, and that's just them pledging their allegiance to the Illuminati, which is the so-called white man's secret society. They all sold their soul. They all are worshiping under the so-called white man's, all his illusions that he puts out before the people. They know what they're doing, and they're part of that ritual. And then after the ritual, they're going to continue on with the second half of the game. And then after the game, they're going to give out the trophy, where the players are going to worship that trophy. They're going to idolize that trophy. They're going to get up there, hug it, kiss it, take pictures with it, all of that. And you best believe that all these sports trophies, there's a undermining, deep symbolism or meaning to it. That's why each of these trophies have their own form and shapes, and they named after something, but it's a deeper meaning to it. And that's why they give that trophy out. Then they give out the MVP trophy, which is the most valuable worship for that game. Whoever had the best game, he's going to be worshipped the most as the MVP. You know, back to the scripture. Verse 13. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. They're not ever. They weren't supposed to be worshipped, and they shouldn't be worshipped forever. For by the vainglory of men they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end. Whew. And this just past Sunday, Kobe Bryant came to an end. You know, you could say people in the world, they're gonna think that's a tragedy, or they're so sad about it. But at the end of the day, he came to an end, and man was highly worshipped, and he was highly classified and put on pedestals, commercials, and then they got all these different symbolisms, man. You know how many commercials? This man's death was predicted in 2017 from a cartoon that he was gonna die, and they made a parody out of it. And you know how Esau get down. He'll put truth, but he'll put it in a roundabout way to distract you, so you laugh at the stuff or whatever. You think it's funny, and it's nothing. But 3 years later, bam, that man passed away the same way that commercial said, in that helicopter. You know what I'm saying? And then you got commercials. You have a song by Chief Keef. In the beginning of the song, there's a helicopter flying over California, flying over the Hollywood sign in the hills. In the hills, this man's helicopter went down in the hills in Calabasas. Wasn't in the Hollywood hills, but it's flying over the hills, and then it goes from, you see in a helicopter a couple of images throughout LA, then you see Kobe on the billboard with the all-seeing eye right next to his head. It's a symbolism that those in the know see. You know, that's just off what the naked eye can just catch. That ain't what everything else is out there. You got men, you got people that sit down and they analyze and dissect these videos and these movie clips and stuff and break it down and tell you what it all means, what the whole Illuminati symbolism means throughout the whole music video. You got a commercial with Kobe Bryant on there, look like a hill on a basketball court. And you got Kanye West going up a helicopter. He's flying up with a helicopter, and then Kobe Bryant throws a time ball, which was a basketball with a time, which was a bomb, at the damn helicopter, and it blew up on fire. All this stuff is a symbolism that's being pushed out there, and there's more to it. I'm pretty sure more and more is going to come out. People are going to, because the Most High, everything done in the dark has come to light. So it's going to be brought out, you know. And this man came to an end, you know, and we supposed to praise the Most High on that. All praise the Yahweh Shem Shai on that. You know what I'm saying? That's prophecy come to happen. That man's in the spirit world. He ain't supposed to be getting worshiped like that. Bear with me for a minute. This is Hosea. Because Northern Kingdom, man, y'all love to worship idols, man. This is Hosea 4:17. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Ephraim was talking about Northern Kingdom, because Ephraim's the head of the Northern Kingdom. In Northern Kingdom, you love to worship idols. You don't care if it's an object. You don't care if it's a person. You don't care if it's a song. You don't care if it's a saying. You know what I'm saying? Something to get somebody can start it. You know what I'm saying? You don't care if it's witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? Left hand side, you worship all kind of idols. Anything but Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, other than the brothers that's in the Northern Kingdom that's in the truth, that the Most High is given, understanding to have the truth. All other 2/3 of our nation, you worshiping something. You know what I'm saying? Especially in Northern Kingdoms, man. You always worshiping something, man. You always, you know, Northern Kingdom get mad, get sad and scared, grab onto their cross on their neck and their rosary beads and start praying to the Virgin Mary. You know, that's how you know, Northern Kingdom get down, man. All right, this is let's see where I'm at, man. to Psalms 106 and 33. Because they provoked his spirit, so that he speak unadvisedly with his lips. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathens and learned their works. And they served their idols, which were as a snare unto them. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils. And how you doing it today, the devil is Esau. You're the deceiver. You're the one deceiving people. You're the one that's putting all this stuff out. That whole situation, people will be able to mourn and grieve and get over the situation with Kobe Bryant or any celebrity. You know, they'll be able to get over that real quick, but you keep reminding them. You keep putting them in that sorrow state. You know what I'm saying? They may wake up in the morning and they might not have that on their mind. They might just, you know, going through a regular day, you know, getting ready for work, getting themselves together, eating breakfast, whatever. Then as soon as they turn onto any type of electronic, whether it's a television, whether it's a computer, cell phone, tablet, Esau puts it right there in your face. The deceiver, the devil, puts that right in your face and puts you back in that morning state where it's hard for you to even get over this dude when you were worshiping him and idling him. You can't really get beyond it because it's put in your face as a repeat over and over and over. That's all you seeing and hearing. And he's doing that to further continuously distract you. Because Israelites, you're peculiar people. We're peculiar people. We're people that's, you know, Israelites are nosy. You know, by nature. That's why Esau gets so, you know, when the truth videos come out, he always messing with brothers' channels, giving them strikes. He's always removing brothers' videos, talking about the content doesn't go along with their, you know, their policy, that go along with the YouTube policy. They're always shutting down people's channels, telling you can't upload or go live for 90 days or a month or whatever the case may be. You do this all, but yet and still you have videos on YouTube, homosexual acts being done, people getting beat up, people getting all this stuff is on there, and you just let it go on. You don't bother it. You got street fights and backyard fights and all this stuff on there on YouTube. You got bestiality, you got videos of chicks tonguing down dogs. Just straight open mouth freaking going to town on the dog's mouth, man. That's on there, but that's good content, right? You can keep that on YouTube, right? Bestiality and all this stuff. You got people, you know, you got people committing crimes and stuff right there on YouTube. But you ain't striking those videos. You ain't shutting those videos down. You ain't giving them letters for the content of their videos. The provisions of it is not child friendly, right? But you'll attack men that's preaching and teaching out of what the scriptures say. This is the world that the devil that we live in, that's ruled by the deceiver, which is Esau. You devils, man. You put that out there. Jake is a curiosity type, you know, we're nosy. So if you just stop posting all this stuff about Kobe Bryant, people get over that and they be on to the next thing. You don't want our videos out there because you know Jake is curious, even if they don't come into the truth or even start watching, or Jake gonna check it out, see all about it. You don't want Jake seeing about it because you don't know who the Most High gonna open their minds and wake that man up, or get that woman in a mindset that she want to follow what the scriptures say and get her a man of the Lord. You don't want that. So what you do is you put this idol shit out there so people can just idolize people, persons, or a noun, pretty much. You know, people, person, place, or thing. Because you got landmarks that people idol all across the world. Oh, I want to go to the Eiffel Tower. You know, I want to go, you know what I'm saying, the Twin Towers, when they were up and standing, which the Most High had them taken down, and all the people with it. You know, there's all these different landmarks. Go to DC, you want to go to the White House or whatever. Come to LA, you want to go to Hollywood, you want to go all these places that people worship. And Hollywood is stuck with witchcraft. Anyway. The next scripture I want to get into the book of Maccabees. This First Maccabees 1:41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. That all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathens agreed according to the commandments of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. So it's just that simple, man. This man put out a decree that people should worship one religion, and they should put away their laws and stop worshiping the God who they were worshiping. And it says the Israelites. Many Israelites agreed and followed that. As in today, whatever Esau, Esau put it out there. Oh man, there's a new age religion, and you should be worshiping this. And there's just other many ways, and next you know, all these Israelites is following this. It is disown what you grew up and believing in. Even though what you grew up and believing in Christianity wasn't right, you just disown that and go into something else. You might be raised Catholic or raised Christian, and then you turn around and you wasn't really believing in all that. You wasn't living that lifestyle. And you went and got yourself arrested, went to the penitentiary, come out the penitentiary, you a Muslim. Then get out of the penitentiary and then get around the 5%ers, and next you know, oh, you a 5% man is God. And then if that's not tooting your horn enough, then you turn around and what? Start following Egyptology. And now you're an Egyptologist. You serving Amun Ra. You know what I'm saying? You're one of them Hotep niggas. That's what you do. When from the time of being a kid to the time you're 30 years old and experienced 4 or 5 different so-called idolized religions. So our people are joined unto idols, especially Northern Kingdom, but Southern Kingdom, you are too. Our whole nation is adulterous. Our people as a nation is adulterous, idol worshiping, false gods, spiritual fornication. We all out there as a nation. Let me read that part again. It says, yea, many of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed to idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, and they should follow the strange laws of the land. Strange laws, strange laws is the same thing as strange women, which is another religion. False idol worship, spiritual fornication, all symbolizes the same thing. Worshiping someone else other than Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Verse 45. And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifices and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days, which is the high holy days. Our people started profaning the Sabbath. For one, worshiping false idols on the Sabbath instead of following the Sabbath, keeping it holy. Having fornication, physical fornication, committing adultery on the Sabbath. Spiritual fornication, meaning physical fornication, meaning committing adultery, sleeping with somebody else's woman. Women sleeping with another man that's not their husband on the Sabbath. They start committing spiritual fornication, meaning worshiping a false god or deity, or anything that could be formed as an idol that our people were worshiping. Staffs and all this stuff, all these different symbols and things that people created, and they forced that to be symbolizing what they wanted it to mean to be, and they worshipped it. Also, eating swine's flesh, eating abominations on the Sabbath. Women might even profane in the Sabbath by having sex on their menstrual. It's just horrible things that our people, you can think of that they did. Even to this day, they do. It says, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days. goes for the high holy days too. They weren't keeping high holy days, holy and solemn assemblies, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols. You go downtown, and this is all across the world, but if you go downtown and you go to the Staples Center, all that on the ground, all that is set up on the ground, all those flowers, all those statues, all those memorabilia, posters, all those candles, all that is considered a set up altars and groves. That's an altar. Those are groves, because the people go down there, and what are they doing? They go down and they see this stuff and they start praying for Kobe, praying for Kobe's family and these things. Well, if they was in the truth, they would know, oh, he's good. And Kobe's family, they're good. They are good. They are taken care of for the rest of their existing carnation. You know, they have to deal with heartache. That's what the pain that they're dealing with is the fact that Vanessa won't see her husband again physically. But she can turn on her TV. She got home video of the man. She got personal, intimate videos with this man. When they're at home enjoying their time with their kids. His kids that are still alive they will still live with Kobe in their life. He just won't be there physically. And that's the will of the Most High. That's Yahweh Shem Yahushai's will here down on earth for that to take place. He sanctioned it. And the angels carried it out, man. You have to honor that, man. That's the way we honor the will of the Most High, man. Whatever He says shall be done in heaven, shall be done here on the earth, man. And the Most High will, if it's fit His will, she'll get beyond this situation and to be in a better place. So I understand if somebody says, oh, pray for their family, they can go through these heartache times. We're in this flesh, like people are in this flesh, and they're gonna do that. But at the same time, this man is being idolized and worshipped. And they setting up shrines and groves and altars to his death and praying in that manner. This is something our people are not supposed to be doing. To set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beast, that they should also leave the children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. The tongue's out. And profanation. To the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And that's continuously taking place with our people this day. Our people are set up under the devil, the deceiver, the master of deception, the master magician, Esau.